Welcome, Stone Fruit Roll Up. This is your weekly live show and YouTube recorded show. This is the show you're watching, about the show that you're watching right now. I have had the esteemed pleasure to slowly build this show out week after week in real time as we go. So you're watching everything from the beginning of time, where I first start concepting the idea with Taylor, week after week after week, and hopefully we're getting better and more interesting. This week is special for a number of reasons. The first of which is our esteemed guest, Gill Moakes, which I'll get into in just a few minutes. But the other thing that's super important about today's episode is that we have started the, the talent training for our wonderful intergalactic intern, Saturn Gunter. Saturn, I'm going to add you to the stream just for a wave. There you go. Welcome to your very first Stone Fruit Roll Up producer position as an intern. Did you want me to change your intern name now?
Yeah, intern from the star. Intern.
Intergalactic intern.
Intergalactic.
Intergalactic. This is the beauty of live. We see all the typos and all the things. You can't fake live stream. This is authentically who you are and genuinely who you are. So tell the folks at home what you're going to be doing this summer in your role as assistant producer for Stone Fruit Roll Up.
I will be learning how to produce the roll up myself. And hopefully I will be able to take it entirely over so Mom can just focus on being amazing and not having to develop a live show without any warning.
Well, you're doing a great job, and we'll call this the start of your illustrious media career. So today, for the folks watching at home, at some point in your show development, you have to start onboarding people and getting super serious about workflows and how things happen. So this is our first entree in Stone Fruit Roll Up to bring on a new person. And Saturn will be doing our he'll be our summer intern and rocking it out. But today we're behind the scenes. I also concurrently have a Zoom screen going with a share screen so Saturn can watch from the production seat. Say goodbye, Saturn.
Bye.
Bye. All right, without further ado, let me take a moment to sincerely welcome our guest today. Thursdays, high noon, that's 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on LinkedIn and YouTube. Since the very, very beginning of time, my business bestie, Gill Moakes, has helped me craft and co-create just about every wild idea I've had for the last 3 years. She and I run in total tenacious tandem, sharing kind of coaching and consulting back and forth between each other, a little arrangement we like to call a partnership, for at least 2.5 years. And I have watched Jilly grow from, a solid service provider to this dynamic and energizing entrepreneur that you see before you. That's what you see before you, but wait until we get to the end of this show, darling, because this is a whole new Jilly. What I love about this whole new Jilly is that it's really an opportunity for her to live her own brand and step into what she calls the full fat version of her own business. And she's going to tell us what that means and do a little rewilding of her own. And she's going to tell us what that means. So without further ado and unnecessary introduction, let me bring this beauty to the stage so she can tell us all about full fat and unwilding and show her radiance clarity and confidence as the entrepreneur we all know and love. Welcome, Jilly. Welcome, Jilly.
What an intro. Thanks.
Your lipstick, darling.
You like?
Yes, giving me life. You weren't
Thank
here earlier, but we gave a little shout out and wave to Saturn Gunter, who is training today as assistant producer of the Roll Up. Saturn is in the comments with a little hi.
Oh, darn.
Well, we've got the Zoom also concurrently going, so Saturn is watching behind the scenes production virtually. So this is meta, baby.
You know how much I love a bit of meta.
I know, baby. It's the more
See
meta.
how my American accent crept in them. Bit of meta.
The more meta, the better. That's your new tagline.
More meta, the better.
I'm so excited to have you on the Roll Up today.
Thank you.
Here's why. You've always been such a good sport when it comes to Stone for Roll Up, and when it comes to Business in the Raw, which is our show on 100 TV, in which we're tag teaming some business coaching for Janine. You can check that out on the playlist of our YouTube channel. Maybe Saturn will put the link in the comments if we're lucky, and also by searching 100 TV. However, I don't often see you volunteer to come live. You are much more in your comfort zone behind the mic in a podcast recording. But you're here right now, Jilly.
That's my real comfort zone is the podcast. I love doing the podcast. I absolutely adore it. And I would kind of tell anyone who was listening that I did the podcast because I listen to podcasts and because, it's my favorite kind of media. And I do. I love podcasts, love listening to podcasts. But was that the whole reason? Nah, probably not. Part of the reason is that I was coaching my clients to be radically visible, to be radically authentic, to show up. And I was kind of doing it in a little way. I was playing light, and I had a bit of a realization. No, I don't think I was hiding. I don't think that's true. I agree. I don't think I was hiding, but I don't think I was walking my talk, if I'm honest. I am absolutely obsessed with helping women build that full fat version of the business they really want, whatever that means to them, however big or small that is. And I don't think I ever got super clear on what that would be for me until we had a conversation earlier this week. And you sent me some homework.
I can't wait to get into your experience there. But before we do, Jilly, tell the folks at home what you mean by a full fat business.
Yeah, okay. For me, and for the clients I work with, a full fat business is a business where you get to be who you truly are, do what you love, and make a difference. That's my criteria for a full fat business. So it isn't always about making X amount of money. It isn't always about having X amount of freedom. It isn't always about anything like that you can measure in that way. I think it's the full embodiment of being who you are and doing what you love. And I think one thing I see a lot is this mistake people have, that they think when I get successful enough at this thing, whatever that light version is that they're beavering away at, when I get successful enough at that, when I make enough money doing this, then I'll be able to focus on what I really want to do. Then I'll be able to bring my passion to life and really go all in on that thing. And I think the mistake there is that, as far as I'm concerned, being who you are and doing what you love, those are prerequisites to success. They're not the rewards of it. And I think that's where people go wrong.
What an interesting script flipper. I think I also run into this conundrum in my own work when we're positioning a brand and
Yeah.
generally personal brand around an entrepreneur or a founder. And we get so stuck in like, this is what I've been known to get paid for. This is what people have historically.
Yes.
I know I can at least make this thing work. So then you start to build a business on essentially your resume or your work experience. And the further you get down that hamster wheel, the further you get like on that hamster wheel, the less you actually can spend developing the dream thing. And they start to separate. Where like the light version of your how do you help coach people around that idea, your own clients?
And what a great question. And can I just say, I love that idea of that separation, because I think that's exactly what happens. I think because of this, this feeling that you have to have a certain level of success before you can go all in and really reveal what you truly are passionate about. I think that does happen. That's exactly what happens. This kind of parting of the ways a little. And normally what happens then as well is that because you're in that mode of needing to make money, we'll need a profitable business, right? We get really stuck in that road, that paying the bills road. We don't leave any time for this road, which is the doing what I really love, being who I really am, showing up authentically, because we're so busy in this road, copying what made other people successful, because we want that level of financial success that we see other people have.
I think that your approach is so remarkable in one very powerful way. It's hard in the entrepreneurial zeitgeist to get away from the only way that you're successful is if you're in constant growth mode or constant beast mode. And you push back against that idea. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? It's funny. This actually goes back to before I became a coach. And I think, and this is quite common with a lot of coaches, we start coaching before we're a coach. I've probably been coaching all my adult life without realizing it in some capacity or another. But my brother-in-law, we always meet up kind of like once a month, and we have this wine night together where we drink too much wine, talk absolute rubbish, congratulate each other about being the best business brains on the planet. And we say absolutely a lot. Oh, absolutely. And we do that a lot. And I remember we were doing this, and he was talking about his business and, his ambitions and where he wanted to take it. And he was already really successful. And I remember just looking at him and saying to him, so how much is enough? And this question just floored him. He couldn't answer it. He didn't know. He had so many reasons for always striving for more. Some of them were from the expectations of his parents, and there were lots of stories behind that where the idea of enough was absolutely alien to him. He couldn't even get his head around the concept of it, and he really spent a lot of time thinking about it. And this is why I know it's such a powerful coaching question, because we get really tied up with it. And we start bringing in other people's stories when we try and answer it. So we have this battle that goes on in our heads. If I say enough is too small, then I'm playing small, I'm playing safe, I'm underperforming, I'm doing a light version. If I say enough would be crazy big, then I'm being unrealistic, I'm being greedy, I'm not being mindful of my own circumstances or whatever. So it's a really hard question to answer. And the only way you can ever answer it is by getting rid of everyone else's story and really focusing in on what enough would be for you, for no one else, just for you. And I think enough is a place where you are being who you are, you're doing what you love, and you're making a difference. Because it always comes back to that for me. And this is something I've only just really realized how bloody important this is to realize, because that is what enough is. You can stay in growth mode forever and it will never be enough if one of those things is out of whack. And how depressing is that? How depressing is it to think that there's this world where you could be striving for more, resetting that clock on your business every 1st of January and doubling your goal for the next year over and over and over and over again, ad infinitum, and never feel like it's enough? I think that's quite depressing.
It is sad. And I think like we would be remiss if we didn't bring the role of capitalism into just our understanding
Absolutely.
of how to
agree.
how to like form a business. We're really, kind of the messaging is from a very young age that success is constant growth and wealth building, value creation for your business. So to think about success being something outside of that realm is foreign, or even just like, ugh. So I think in order to get to that place where you really can define what success looks like for you, you have to unpack a little of the capitalist agenda.
I think you have to
to be
unpack
fair.
a lot of it. I really agree with you. I couldn't agree more. I think you're absolutely right. I think, and I still do this, I still slip into language that suggests that growth is only about money. And of course, that's not true either. A business can grow in terms of impact. It can grow in terms of happiness of its team. It can grow in lots of ways that aren't money. But we grew up in a capitalist society which tells us that growth is about money. It's all about money. And the truth is that you don't have a sustainable business unless you are making a profit. That's true. But your definition of how much profit is you want to make is absolutely down to you. And I don't care if a woman comes to me and says, I want to make $10 million next year. Or if they come to me and say, as long as I can pay my bills, I don't really care about earning a cent more than that. It doesn't matter to me which of those is true, as long as it is true.
I think also, Jilly, that there are more ways to generate currency than bring in more money. So if we expand our definition of like what is currency, and if we're growing and attracting this thing, what is it? There's connections, creativity, collaboration, currency of just like energy that is beyond the paper dollar bill, y'all. So unpacking capitalism and also embracing other forms of currency, I think can be simpatico with also just needing to make a freaking living. Like, let's be real.
I think so too.
You can't totally opt out.
But also, if making money is your thing and you want to make as much money as you possibly can, and you want to kind of set a huge monetary goal, that's okay too. You don't need to feel any shame around that either. So I'm as passionate about both ends of this spectrum as I can possibly be, because I think as long as it's right for you, as long as it's who you truly are and what you truly want, then either end of the spectrum is okay. You're not greedy. You're not necessarily playing small. It's okay to want what you want and to do it your way.
What does your way and the highway mean to you when I say that out loud?
I love that expression so much. it's changed. What it means to me has changed a lot over time. I used to say it because it was such a good soundbite. I help women do it their way. But of course, I wasn't helping women do it their way. I was teaching them how to do it my way and then make it their way. And I think as I've matured as a coach, and I think I've got much more coach in me and slightly less consultant in me now, because I started out as purely as a consultant rather than a coach. And I think now, like I say, as I've matured as a coach, I really now have this ability to ask better questions around what would make growing this business feel good to you. And I'm much less insistent that people try things that have worked, say, for me, or that I've witnessed work for other people. And I'm much more about helping people find the thing that works for them, or the thing they're going to enjoy doing. I've always said, like, when it comes to growing a business in any way, you know, marketing is part of growing a business. It is. And marketing always works. Marketing always works. Doesn't matter what you do. It always works. It's just that until you find the thing you like doing enough to keep doing it long enough to see the results, nothing will work if you don't do that. So that's another reason why I'm so passionate about helping women find the way that they want to grow their business, the way they want to market their business, their way, so it feels good. And often they need help with that, because going back to that visibility thing that we talked about in the beginning, I think when women get more comfort and more confident with being visible, different ways of making connections open up to them. And marketing is about connection. That's all it's about, right? No connection, no marketing. It doesn't work without that. And I think, so where I work with women around their confidence and their courage to show up authentically, that helps them. It helps them get way more comfortable with different strategies for their business. And that helps them be who they are, do what they love, and make a difference. Comes back to that again. Oh, I can't hear you.
Jilly, can you nod if you can hear me?
I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you for a moment.
I cannot hear you at all.
You can't hear me.
And I don't know if it's me or you.
Oh.
And I've tried really hard to do this on the down low where no one can know, but I can't hear you. And you're just talking wonderfully.
I wonder if Saturn can hear me.
However, I need you to hang tight for a minute because I cannot hear you.
Okay. All right.
Saturn.
I'm going to just chat anyway, just in case everyone can hear me. Well, that might be off-putting.
Take over.
I can't hear Saturn.
I was muted. I was muted because I have a clicky thing, so I was muted.
Can you hear me, Saturn?
I can hear you. I can hear Mom. I don't think Mom can hear us.
Okay, I'm back, I think.
She's back.
Can you guys hear me now, Jilly?
Yes, I can hear you. And I think
Saturn
and I
can't hear
each
Jilly.
other. Oh.
I cannot.
No.
Yes. Okay, so
I can hear you, Saturn. I cannot hear Jilly.
Saturn, you can hear me though, right?
I can hear everyone, and I think everyone can hear me.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I would agree. Say something hilarious.
What do you what do you call a trans man who
really
only eats salads? He's a herbivore because he's a herbivore. Get it? Herbivore.
I would call that joke a little blue.
I got it.
What is going on with Jilly?
I can hear.
I'm going to mute her. Yeah. I'm going to unmute her.
Oh, hold on. The host is unmuted.
I'm going to remove her. I'm going to add her.
Out. I'm
There she is.
back. I'm back.
Yes. Yes.
Technical
Woohoo!
difficulty.
Julie, that was
Yeah,
a
baby, I'm
trial.
back.
So
You just
Okay.
missed
really
such a
quickly,
good
I
thing
tried
I'm
putting the
talking
link
about.
in both the LinkedIn and YouTube chats, and it would not appear.
Okay, so comments are turned off. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, comments are on. I'm talking while I'm just hanging out in the YouTube chat, but it does not look like anything from the LinkedIn chat is going through. Let me test it.
Okay, let's see if it's there. Julie, I'm so sorry. We had a major technical snafu where I no longer had the ability to. No one could hear you. I don't know how long.
No, it was only you who couldn't hear her.
It was
I could
only
hear her.
you that couldn't hear me.
Look, this is the power of live television, you guys. This is exactly what happens. And so
and we go with it.
Anyway,
Can I also
here's the good. Oh yeah, see you, Saturn. Thanks for your help. I just threw you in there to take over. I was like, Saturn, take over. I can't hear Julie at all. The good news is, anyone who's watching this on the replay and the raw files, I have you toggled as a singular and you're talking. So we're going to get the sound bites and other people will know. But we've been completely disruptive. And with the power of technology.
But here's the thing. Do you know what, Rebecca? This is the point, really, isn't it, about visibility, is that things don't always go perfectly. People get very nervous about being live. But actually, so things go wrong. So what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I was listening to someone who is a public speaking coach. And she was saying that she differs from a lot of public speaking coaches who really focus in on getting rid of the ums and the ahs and this is how you need to project your voice and all of that kind of thing. And all that kind of thing. And her point was, do you know what? I just want you to say words that people want to listen to. Have good stories. Like, it's so much more important. The content is more important than the delivery and having this kind of flawlessly professional setup. We don't care about that. We care about what people are saying.
Also, I think that I've been contending this for a while, particularly as ChatGPT has started to have its rise and all the AI pictures you can have made, etc. Like, you're really raw and real and genuine and authentic is going to be the only way to prove you're freaking human. And so this proves we're freaking humans. Like,
oh my God, such a good point.
Here we are in episode 112. I'm still having technological issues. I am bringing somebody in to run the production part so I can focus on being a host. You're seeing that transition as well. And so that's the real. And also, if anyone was watching this for you and for me, they would be able to see, what do we act like in a crisis? How do we handle when things aren't going well?
Exactly.
Because that's a really important thing to think about. We can all be polished. We can all, like my favorite Jude Charles quote, you can pretend to care, but you can't pretend to show up. We could, in a polished show.
Can I just tell you, that's my new favorite quote.
I love
Jude, if you're listening, just genius. I love that quote.
I do too.
I'm going to mute myself quickly because I'm going to cough.
Okay. I love that quote too, because you really cannot pretend to show up, and a live stream environment is that. And I think that this ties in why visibility. And if you have talked about that, because I couldn't hear you, we'll skip forward. But if you haven't talked about why visibility, I'd love to get into it. Why visibility? These are real people. And, when a crisis comes up, and it will in your business, who is your partner? Is your partner somebody who is derailed when they're not perfectly polished, or is your partner somebody who will throw Saturn in the hosting chair while you figure out why your headphones aren't picking up the audio?
Also, though, to your point around why visibility, there's something that's so important to remember is that the only really unique part of your business is you. And what I mean by that is that, there's no really new formats to offers, and there's very little new in the world of work. So when we really focus on being authentically ourselves, that's our uniqueness. That is the only way we're ever really going to stand out and set ourselves apart. And if you don't set yourself apart somehow, you're not going to take your business where you want it to go. You're just not, and particularly if you're a coach, if you're a copywriter, someone who, there's a ton of competition out there. But when you're really uniquely you eradicate all of that competition, because no one else will do things in your style. And the way to demonstrate how you are is to be live or to be on video where people can see you and hear you and get all the nuances. So I really get that now, which I don't think I did until quite recently.
I couldn't agree with you more, because that's right in my wheelhouse of
Exactly.
being authentically yourself. And in my own work, I help people discover what that is. So now my question to you is, tell me about your journey to discover what that is, because I contend not everybody knows what the full fat version of their business is. And even if they know it deep, deep, deep in their heart of hearts, they haven't given themselves permission to even want it, because that seems crazy. That seems like a pipe dream. And we just kind of either relegate it to the future, as you so aptly described in the beginning, where it's like, oh, well, if I just pay my dues and work really hard, eventually I'll be able to be the full fat version of myself. Or you deny it forever and a day. So if you don't know what that is, or you haven't given yourself permission, how do you discover what it is to even know that that's a path you want to be on?
Yeah. So if you let me, I'd like to just go back and share my kind of journey to that, because I think
my God, please do
help illustrate it. So I haven't always had my own business. I worked in corporate, I worked in commercial insurance for 25 plus years. And towards the end of that, I was literally clock watching from morning till night. And I would sit there thinking, God, if only I'd picked something else as a career, I could have had my own business. Because I thought, well, I only know insurance. I don't know how to do anything else. And due to the kind of compliance and governance around financial services, it's kind of impossible now to set up independently as an insurance broker. And I certainly didn't have the capital to put into doing that either. So that wouldn't have been an option. So I would just sit there clock watching, thinking, oh my God, my life is so boring. This is like being in prison. I hate this. I don't want to spend my life with my face in someone's armpit on the tube. But I couldn't, for the life of me, see how I could possibly set up my own business. And then life has a funny old way, doesn't it, of kind of like giving you a slap around the face with a wet fish. So I lost my husband to cancer in 2016. The year before that, I had started looking into starting my own business. And, we were a 2-income house, so it would have been something we could have done. When Phil died, I had this massive realization that life is just too short to not be doing what I want to be doing. So I gave myself permission to chuck my job in without really knowing what I was going to do. I had a little bit of savings, not even as much as 6 months worth, but I had a little bit of savings. And my niece at the time was doing something called virtual assistant work, which I'd never heard of. I was completely new to the world of business, entrepreneurship, anything like that. But I decided that, she told me what that meant, being a VA. And I decided, well, I know my way around a spreadsheet. Maybe I could do that. So I set myself up as a VA, and I just like created an email address, and I self-taught myself everything. Sorry, I just hit the mic. I literally self-taught myself every system, everything I needed to know to be a VA. And it turned out I was a really good VA. It turned out I had picked up so much more business knowledge, project management knowledge, sales knowledge than I ever realized working in commercial insurance. And I was a really good VA. So I decided to promote myself. And at this stage, I was kind of enjoying it, but I decided to promote myself, which for me was done by simply changing my email signature. I literally just one day said, I am no longer a VA, I'm an online business manager. And I just changed my email signature.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
Right. Did I
what a validation.
That's genuinely true story. Genuinely true story.
I challenge anybody watching to change your email signature right now to what you really want to be. Give yourself a promotion.
Yeah.
Hashtag give yourself a promotion. Saturn, make that a hashtag. Give yourself a promotion.
Give yourself a promotion, and all you have to do is change your email signature, because you are whatever you say you are.
Your words create your reality.
Exactly. So now I was an online business manager, and I was really good at doing that. And I had loads of clients, and then I had more clients than I could work with. And also I had VA clients that I couldn't service. So then I set up an OBM, online business management, and virtual assistant agency. And that's where it all started going a bit wrong, I suppose. And when I say wrong, and here's why it's not all about the financial growth, because my business was growing, but I wasn't enjoying it as much. I was finding like managing the staff in the VA agency was really stressful. Like if someone was off sick, it was my responsibility to find someone else for that client. And my worst nightmare is letting down a client. That was just, oh God, I just couldn't bear it. And also, it was around this time that I came across this person called Rebecca Gunter. I don't know if any of you have heard of her. She's this like marvel. And we became very firm friends. I'm so glad that she doesn't realize she's muted. So, oh, damn it.
I said, okay, Jilly.
Okay, Jilly. Whatever.
Serious. What? Me? Stop.
Get out of here. So I'd finally found someone in you who I could share my wilder visions with, because up until then I was too embarrassed to contradict the thing that I'd gone around telling everyone, which was I was a OBM for coaches. I was a VA for coaches first. Then I was an online business manager for coaches. I took care of all the back end of their business. So I would set up their funnels and their marketing and social media and all things like that. And I would literally, this is the epitome of playing small, okay? I would literally tell anyone who would listen that I didn't want to be a coach. I felt like my destiny in life was to help other women be great coaches by being their VA. And literally, it was never true. I never meant it. I was so bloody envious of the clients I had. All I wanted was to replicate their businesses. I literally would have killed for any of my clients' businesses. I watched what they were doing and I was just in awe. And I knew it was what I wanted to do, but I couldn't own that. I just didn't have the confidence to own that and stand up and say, actually, I could do this. And also, I bloody knew I could do it too. I knew I could. I quite often ended up coaching my clients, even at that time when I was a VA and an OBM.
So why didn't you at that point just change your signature?
So that's a really good question. That felt massive that time. Before, it felt really natural, felt very easy. And I felt like I was being very brave and controversial by doing it. This time, I felt like the biggest imposter on the bloody planet. I felt like if I did that, people would say, have you seen what Jill's put on her email signature? Who the hell does she think she is? What the hell? She was a bloody VA a couple of years ago. Now look
Everybody grows. Everybody grows.
Everybody grows.
Pivots.
But for me, I had this image of people saying, now she's calling herself a coach. And I look back at that now and I feel so sad for myself because
it's
the truth is,
internalized judgment.
It was internalized judgment. I've always been a coach. And I was as soon as I did change my email signature, because you really helped me see that that was possible for me. That's what, if anyone's listening, that's what positioning, or that is what positioning is all about. It is about getting clarity on who you want to serve and how you want to serve them and who you are and why that's right for you. So doing that work with Rebecca.
Let's acknowledge, I'm sorry, Joe, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
But I just want to acknowledge, like, as much as we want to, beat a drum for positioning, that it really, the truth of the matter is, Stone Fruit Roll-Up fans, that that's not something you can do for yourself.
No.
I don't even know anybody who can do it for themselves, to be honest. And it takes someone else to, like, hold the mirror.
Absolutely.
I believe you've done that for me. And
I've done it for you. You've done it for me many times. And I think it's absolutely something you can't do for yourself. And I think, you've been my coach for a long time now. And the conversations we have, I feel so expansive afterwards every time. And I guess there are two conversations that have been really pivotal for me more than any others. I guess one was that conversation right at the beginning where you just gave me the confidence to call myself a coach and to do that very proudly and have the absolute confidence to work with high ticket clients, coaching them because I get them great results.
I'll say.
I don't know.
I'll say you get them great results. Well, let's backtrack a little bit, and really to get into, like, what is a coach exactly? And as you said, I was a VA for coaches. I was an OBM for coaches. You love coaches. In fact, even if I've ever tried to talk you out of, like, niching down on coaching, you've been very stalwart in your position. That these are truly your people, and now you walked amongst them, shoulder proud. What is a coach, and what would somebody watching expect that they would get out of a relationship with a coach? Give us a little background. We hear it banded around a lot. Oh, I'm a coach.
We really
I'm
do.
A coach. So talk about coaching.
Do. And of course, there are lots of different kinds of coaching, but first of all, coaching isn't the same as consulting. So consulting is very instructional. Consulting is do this thing. And I do some of that. So I don't tend to do, because I'm a business coach, I don't tend to do pure coaching. It tends to be a bit of consulting and a bit of coaching. And I'm going to go into that difference in a minute. But the consulting piece is very, here's how you do this. Now go do it. Mentorship is not the same as coaching. Mentorship is someone who's kind of walked the path you want to walk. So you're coming behind them and learning from them and learning how to do the things they've done. That's more mentorship. Coaching isn't therapy. So therapy is about looking at the past. Therapy is about, looking at what's happened in the past and healing from that and finding resolution for that. That's not coaching. Coaching is future-paced. Coaching is looking at what you want, and it's about asking your clients really powerful questions to help them get the insight they need to move towards what they want. And that's so you can see how that's different from consulting. Consulting is giving your client the answers. Now, a business coach who doesn't give you any answers is pretty redundant, right?
I feel like I do both of those things
Right.
together in
And I think that's
tandem.
what's important. So for a life coach, it's really important that a life coach delivers pure coaching, because the life coach shouldn't be projecting onto a client how to do something or what the right thing for them to do is, right? Life coaching is really about those powerful questions that get the client to unearth the insight. Business coaching is really different. Business coaching, we call it coaching, but it's always a combination. It's always a combination of giving your clients the answers, but also asking powerful questions to get out from them what it is they really want. Coaching is setting goals. Coaching is holding your client accountable. Coaching is really helping your clients explore where they want to go, and then putting your consulting hat on to help them work out what the micro steps are they need to take to get there. And so they can't always do that by just you saying, tell me, what do you think the steps are? That would be the crappiest business coach ever.
I think if you're savvy,
I hope that explained it well enough what the difference is. But.
I hope so too, because I think that word gets bantered around a lot, and we don't always know what it means or why you would work with one. And so I'm gonna get super meta. Meta is better, and say, well, if a coach is here to help you realize your vision and give you kind of permission to explore what that is, in the name of visibility, Jilly, look us in the camera and tell us what the full fat version of your business is.
It hasn't changed from when I came on and said, I have finally worked out what the full fat version of my business is. And that is to be who I am, to do what I love, and to make a difference. And for me, that is coaching. I love one-to-one intense coaching, where I'm like the other side of the camera and we're working together, and I'm under the hood of the client's business. And I get to know my clients' businesses so well that sometimes I think they forget that I don't actually work inside their business with them. Yeah, because I do, to be honest. It's because I do.
Intimate.
That's how I work.
It is intimate.
It's really intimate. It's why most of my clients work for me on a retainer basis. So most of my clients don't tend to stop. I normally bring clients on a 12-week basis to coach with me, but I only can remember a handful of clients, probably less than 5 clients, who haven't gone on to coach with me long term, because until you've experienced intensive one-to-one coaching, you don't understand how impactful it is in moving the needle in your business. Group programs can be great. They're not my thing. I don't love group programs. I have a high ticket mastermind. That's a bit different. But I don't love group programs because this is my full fat business, right? That doesn't mean that group programs aren't the absolute perfect offer for the next person, the next coach who wants to do it her way. This is my full fat business. It's one-to-one coaching. It's speaking. You may not have noticed this. I love talking. And I haven't embraced it enough. I haven't. I absolutely love it. So I want to do more of that. That's going to form part of my full fat business. Writing, I've been working on my first book for a long time now, and I keep putting it on the back burner because I get obsessed with things like names of the book, and that freezes me. I'm not going to do that anymore. If I want to write, I'm just going to write. I'm going to stop putting things in boxes. And this is something that you have sparked in me since the last conversation we have. I am someone who loves neat boxes and labels. I've always been like that. I've always liked to have everything very organized and neat. And that kept me in a place, as you said it so beautifully, it kept me in a place of getting ready to get ready. And I'm not talking about my coaching practice right now, because I have an established, thriving coaching practice. But in terms of my writing, my speaking, the things that for me are the part that also make a difference, they're also ways for me to make a difference. I just haven't stepped into them wholeheartedly because I've been getting ready to get ready. Can't hear ya. No, you're muted again. Get off the bloody mute button. If you're listening, can you just please put in the comments, tell Rebecca to stop muting herself? Thanks.
Well, what I'm trying to clear you, like, excellent audio. So this is, again, meta is better. If we produce this show in a way that is if you're thinking about beyond the live, then I'm trying to give you lots of good spaces where it's a kind of a solo toggle and your soundbite is beautiful. And what I'm afraid
really appreciate that. I'm not good at thinking beyond the moment, so
what I'm afraid of is like this, like, and the dog in the background and me like clicking my pen. So I throw it on mute for a better sound file, and then I start responding. I appreciate you. Maybe we'll just have that breathing taken out. But until this day is what I was saying. Until this day, you haven't been good about visibility and stepping out there with your writing and speaking. But today is a new day. Where are people going to find you in the immediate future, living the full fat version of your business and your life?
Oh, God. Well, I'm going to tell you something that isn't even ready, and there are no videos on it, but I am creating a YouTube channel. So I'm going to announce it now because, sod it, I'm sick of... This is the thing. I'm no longer getting ready to get ready. I don't care. I haven't even put the banner image up, but I am starting a YouTube channel. It is called Rewild Your Business. This is another phrase that I absolutely adore, that I have coined to talk about my way of looking at business. And what I mean by rewilding your business is really about stripping away from your business everything that doesn't belong there, to allow what does belong to thrive. And some people just immediately get this. They're like, yeah, I totally get that. Goodbye Instagram, goodbye Twitter. Like, I don't want all this shit clogging up my can we say shit live on air? Just said it twice.
I'm for it. I'm just saying it. I'm for it. I don't know if we can or not, but whatever. I say fuck all the time here, so we're definitely a show that swears. Saturn, find Jilly's YouTube channel and put the comment in the comments if you would.
Oh, that would be amazing if you can. That's if it's even created. Other places people can find me, my podcast, which I still absolutely adore, which is going to change slightly because I really am I do a lot of interviews anyway on the podcast, and I'm going to kind of transition the podcast to be interview only because the podcast is called Heads Together. And I really would like to work on this concept of bringing together some amazing women doing incredible things and showcase them on that podcast, which is actually what I do already. But at the moment, I kind of intersperse that with my own, live business coaching and that kind of thing. And that I think is going to be more what the YouTube channel will be for moving forward. But
can you remind the folks can you tell people where to find the Heads Together podcast? We'll make sure that's in the show notes.
It's everywhere you normally listen to podcasts. So it's called Heads Together. But also if you head to gillmoakes.com, you've got my name there on the screen, but it's gillmoakes.com/podcast. You can also listen to all of the episodes there. There are a few different things on my website, a few free resources as well that people might want to go and check out at gillmoakes.com, Jill with a G. And I'm on
Jill also has two very special coaching centric episodes in Business in the Raw. Episodes
Mhm.
5 and 6 are
Mm.
Gill and Janine exclusively. And you can watch Gill take my positioning statement work and elevate it to new heights by validating the business model, which is excellent.
Dream
And
team.
you can see that on the Stone Fruit playlist for Business in the Raw or over there at 100 TV. When's the next time you're going live, Jilly? When are you going to put yourself out there again with
Oh my God,
visibility?
probably tomorrow. I love it so much.
How exciting. I can't wait to be I can't wait to be over on your YouTube. You're visiting my YouTube channel right now, and then I'll be visiting
God,
your
yeah.
YouTube channel.
Maybe I probably need to work out some logistics for this, because with the podcast, it's so easy. I just work in Riverside. Yeah, Riverside. So no, maybe I'm going to do this StreamYard. I'm loving. So yeah, maybe I do that.
It gives you the quality files you're looking for and the visuals.
Mm.
I want folks to stay tuned for a little bit later in the summer when we're going to have a very special Ross Brand episode where he's going to come and show me how to actually, and Saturn, how to actually, and the audience at home, how to actually use StreamYard. I mean, like from a producer's
Ooh.
perspective, how do you show comments? How do you toggle the perspective? What do the banners do? How do you share video? I really want to know how you have a little countdown and cue up some music. I really want to know
Oh,
that. So
that'd be so helpful. I love
it will be
Ross. He's amazing. I love him.
I love Ross too. Saturn wants us to all remember that also there'll be an intergalactic takeover at the end of the summer when Saturn has gotten all the producer chops and will have their own episode. So that'll be cool.
Yes.
So thank you, Saturn, so today you started that journey. Jilly, I couldn't be more proud of you and how you've really embraced your own full fat version. It feels so freeing. And I know that because you did it for me. It feels so freeing.
So does.
What's your one call to action for the audience today?
The one call to action is I would love them to head to my website and I would love them to download. There's a top right hand corner, there's a download, and it's called Fix Your Money Mindset, because it's the number one thing that I see holding people back from really doing what they love, from being who they really are. There's this money mindset piece that really fucks with their brain and just stops them. So I think that would be my one call to action. Go and download that and have a play around with it. Fill it in.
You really brought that home, because I believe that the money mindset piece is what holds us back from stepping into rewilding and the full fat version of our business.
Absolutely.
We're too afraid to give away the proven concept, the known quantity, even though it's not anything near what we want, and start declaring ourselves this level of value, because the dip in between is terrifying. So fixing your money mindset.
Terrifying. What if the clients don't come? What if they won't pay my high ticket prices? What if? And usually those what ifs stem from legacy money stories that we've grown up with.
Thank God you're there to fix, to at least get people pointing in the right direction.
I'm absolutely here. And you know what? I'm more here than I've ever been. So that I feel proud of too.
What a note to end on, Jilly.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm proud of you too.
You're amazing.
My God. You're a living example of what it's like to reinvent yourself. Pivot is power.
Pivot is power.
That's the name of our next episode together.
Yes, please.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you for your time, your energy, and your awesomeness, Jilly. It is such an honor to have been on this journey with you, being there with you since the old OBM days. And you may not see this because it looks like I finally have arrived, but it's just a milestone on your epic journey. And I hope I can be there for all of it.
You absolutely will be. I hope and pray.
I hope so too. All right, Jilly, and everyone at home and Saturn, we've made it to 1 hour. You can watch replays of this episode on YouTube, and I encourage you to tune in next week when we're having Jody Wissing do a presentation makeover of a real slide deck that I put together for a real thing she's made over. So that's going to be cool.
Love it.
All right, Jilly, say goodbye to the studio audience.
Goodbye, studio audience.
Goodbye, studio audience.